train your mind to win in every situation. You have chosen to step into a quiet space today. A space where the noise of the world fades and where only the voice of reason remains. The title of our journey together is simple: Train your mind to win in every situation. But let us pause and ask, what does it mean to win? Does it mean conquering others? Does it mean feel your body settle into the present moment? The mind is restless, always chasing, always running, but here, now, we will train it to be still, to be strong, to be free. Chapter 1, The Stoic Path. Imagine a man burdened with the weight of an empire. He wakes before the sun rises. Letters arrive with reports of war, famine, rebellion. His body aches from sickness, his friends betray him. And yet, he writes quietly in his journal, words not for the world, but for himself. This man was Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome. He ruled the greatest empire on earth, yet he fought a greater battle within, the battle against fear, anger, grief, and desire. His writings, collected in what we now call meditations, were never meant for others. They were reminders to himself. Gentle notes like, "Do not let your mind be conquered. Control what is in your power. Let go of what is not." Now picture another man, not an no family of his own, yet this man too found freedom within his mind. His name was Epictetus, and he taught his students, "You may fetter my leg, but not my will. You may chain my body, but not my mind." From emperor to slave, from palace to prison, the Stoic path showed the same truth. The mind is free if you train it to be free. The Stoics lived in a time of hardship, wars, plagues, exile, loss. Yet their writings echo across centuries. Because the hardships we face today are not so different. Yes, our battles may not be fought with swords, but we fight battles in our hearts. We struggle with failure, rejection, anxiety, and fear. We battle with loss, with anger, with the unfairness of life. And so, the question becomes, if an emperor could remain calm while ruling a world on fire, if a slave could feel free while in chains, can we too learn to train our minds to win in every situation? Yes, we can. And this is the journey we are on today. Chapter 2, What It Means to Win. We use the word winning so often in life, but seldom do we stop to ask, what does it truly mean to win? To some, winning means triumph over others, beating a rival, earning more wealth, gaining more power, rising higher in status. And yet, if we look closely, these victories are fragile. The applause fades, the trophies gather dust, the wealth that once felt infinite becomes ordinary, and the praise of men, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, is nothing but the clapping of tongues. The Stoics offered another meaning of victory. To win is not to conquer the world, but to conquer yourself. Consider this. If a man defeats his opponent, but is enslaved by anger, has he truly won? If a woman achieves wealth, but is tormented by greed, has she truly triumphed? If a leader commands armies, but is crushed by fear, is he truly free? The Stoics would say no. Victory that depends on others is never safe, but victory within. That is the only lasting triumph. Let us make this more real. Picture a soldier in battle. The arrows fly, the ground shakes, fear whispers in his ear, "You will die here." If that soldier gives in to fear, he is already defeated, even if he survives. But if he steadies his mind, if he accepts death as part of life and fights with calm determination, then no outcome, win or lose, can take away his victory. Now imagine a worker burdened with endless tasks. Under pressure from his employer, he faces criticism. He feels overlooked. He longs for peace. If he allows anger to poison him, resentment to burn him, then even if he keeps his job, he has lost. But if he remains steady, if he sees the work as his duty, if he performs each task with excellence, then his mind is unshaken and he has won. Or think of a parent watching over a sick child, sleepless and worried. The heart aches, the mind imagines the worst. But the Stoic, only calm presence, only steady care, only love without panic is the true victory here. Winning, then, is not about bending the world to your will. It is about bending your will to face the world as it is. Seneca once wrote, "The man who has conquered himself is truly free." So let us pause here for a moment of reflection. Close your eyes if you can. Breathe in and out. Ask yourself, when I think of winning, what image comes to mind? Is it applause? Is it recognition? Is it material success? Or is it the calm of a mind unbroken, a heart untroubled, a spirit at peace no matter what the world may bring? Take another breath. Hold this reflection in silence. This is the Stoic meaning of victory. Not conquest, not applause, but peace within. And with this new understanding, let us take the next step together. Let us explore how we can begin to train the mind daily, gently, to win in every situation. Chapter 3, Training the Mind Daily. The mind is like a garden. If left unattended, weeds of fear, anger, and desire quickly take root. But if tended with care, with patience, with practice, it grows into a place of order, peace, and strength. The Stoics knew this truth well. They did not expect the mind to be strong without discipline. Just as a soldier trains each day for war, just as an athlete prepares each day for the games, so too must we train the mind daily if we wish to win in every situation. How do we train? Let us walk together through their practices. Morning reflections at the break of day, when the first light touches the earth. Marcus Aurelius would rise and remind himself, "Today you will meet with interference, with ingratitude, with rudeness, with disloyalty, with selfishness. All this has befallen them through their ignorance of good and evil." He did not wait for life to surprise him. He prepared his mind in advance. And so can we. When you wake each morning before the rush of tasks and duties, sit quietly for a few breaths. Ask yourself, what trials may I face today? What interruptions? What disappointments? What temptations? See them clearly in your mind. Accept them as inevitable, as part of the human experience, and then whisper to yourself, "None of these can disturb my peace unless I allow them." This small morning meditation is like armor for the soul. It does not stop arrows from flying, but it prepares you to meet them without fear. Journaling as training. Marcus wrote to himself each day, not to impress others, not to publish a book, but to train his thoughts. Writing is a mirror for the mind. It reveals the hidden fears, the silent angers, the quiet hopes that guide our actions. Take a notebook, keep it by your side, and each evening reflect. What did I face today? Where did I falter? Where did I remain strong? What lesson shall? Chapter 4. Power over emotions. The mind may be trained daily, but there is one battlefield where most of us stumble again and again. Our emotions. Anger, fear, grief, desire. These storms rise quickly, like sudden winds at sea. And if we are not steady, they can carry us far from ourselves. The Stoics did not seek to destroy emotion. They were not made of stone. They felt joy and sorrow, love and loss, just as we do. But they learned the secret. Emotions are visitors. They arrive. They stay for a while, and they pass. The wise person observes them, but does not become their slave. Anger. Think of anger, how quickly it burns, how sharp the tongue becomes, how harsh the hand. And yet, after the fire passes, what remains? Regret, exhaustion, damage to the bonds we cherish. Seneca warned, anger, if not restrained, is more destructive than any other passion. To master fear. Now think of fear, how it freezes the heart, how it steals sleep, how it whispers of dangers yet unseen. Epictetus reminded us, men are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of things. Most fears never come to pass, and even when they do, they are often lighter than the weight of our worry. The Stoic trains the mind to meet fear with reason, to ask, is this within my control? If yes, I will act. If no, I will release it. This simple discipline transforms fear into courage. Grief, then comes grief, the heaviest of emotions, the loss of what we love, the passing of time, the silence left behind. The Stoics did not deny grief. Even Marcus Aurelius wept for those he loved. But they sought to remind themselves all things are borrowed. Nothing is ours forever. To grieve is human, but to cling is suffering. They trained their minds to love deeply, but to hold lightly. To say when loss arrives, I was blessed too. Desire. And what of desire? The endless hunger for more wealth, more pleasure, more recognition. Desire is a thirst that can never be fully quenched. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes not from having everything, but from needing little. Epictetus lived with almost nothing, yet said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. To master desire is to master freedom, to enjoy what you have without being enslaved by what you lack. Chapter 5, the discipline of action. The Stoics taught us to prepare the mind, to master emotions, to turn setbacks into strength. But wisdom alone is not enough. Reflection alone is not enough. Even the deepest philosophy must walk in the world through action. For what is the value of knowing what is right if we do not do it? What is the worth of calm thoughts if our hands remain idle? The Stoics lived not in words alone, but in deeds, and they reminded us the true test of philosophy is how we act in daily life. Duty over desire. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, yet he did not live for luxury. He slept on a simple bed, ate plain meals, and worked tirelessly at his duty. He reminded himself daily, "At dawn, when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being." To Marcus, life was not about chasing comfort, but about fulfilling his role with integrity. The present moment. Action lives only in one place, the present. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But this breath, this step, this task before you, this is where life truly is. Epictetus reminded his students, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will flow smoothly." We cannot control tomorrow, but we can act today. We cannot rewrite yesterday, but we can choose now. Excellence in small things. The Stoics believed that greatness is not found only in grand deeds, but in the smallest of actions, done with care. To eat with moderation, to speak with honesty, to walk with dignity, to greet others with kindness. Seneca said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." So the Stoic trains himself to pour excellence into the smallest duties, to wash a dish as if it were sacred, to write a letter with full attention, to guided reflection on action. Let us pause here. Close your eyes if you can. Take a breath in and out. Now think of one task before you, something small, something ordinary. Perhaps it is work waiting to be finished. Perhaps it is a duty at home. Perhaps it is a conversation you must have. See it clearly. And now tell yourself, this task is my field of training. I will meet it with patience, with care, with excellence. Breathe again. And when the time comes to act, remember this moment. Remember that even the smallest action is part of the Stoic path. A closing reflection. So let us remember, to live well is to act well, not in grand gestures alone, but in steady daily duties. To rise each morning with purpose, to live each moment in the present, to pour excellence into the smallest tasks, to act without clinging to reward. This is the discipline of action. This is how philosophy becomes life. And with this discipline, we are prepared to walk deeper still into the heart of Stoic teaching, the life of virtue. Chapter 6, Training for Every Situation. Life does not ask our permission. It does not wait for our readiness. Each day, it presents us with trials. Some are small, some are heavy, some appear suddenly like storms. The Stoic path is not to avoid these storms, but to train the mind to walk through them with strength, with clarity, with peace. The Stoic warrior's gymnasium. The Stoics often spoke of life as a kind of gymnasium for the soul. Just as an athlete lifts weights to grow stronger, the mind is strengthened by challenges. Epictetus told his students, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. And so, when insulted, the Stoic sees a chance to practice patience. When injured, a chance to practice endurance. When wealth is lost, a chance to practice freedom from attachment. When fortune smiles, a chance to practice humility. Every event becomes training. Every situation becomes a teacher. Preparing for loss. Loss is certain. The Stoics did not deny it. They embraced it as part of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You may leave this life at any moment. Let that determine what you do and say and think." To train for loss is not to become cold or loveless. It is to love fully, but without illusion. To say to a friend, "I am grateful for this moment with you." To hold a child, knowing that time is fragile. To use each day as if it were a borrowed gift. Loss, then, does not crush us, for we have prepared. We have practiced gratitude, not possession. Preparing for insult words can wound deeply. But the Stoics remind us, it is not the insult itself that harms us, but our judgment of it. If a child called you fool, would you be offended? Likely not. Why? Because you do not take the child's words seriously. So too, when grown men insult us, why give their words the power of truth? Epictetus said, "If anyone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against his words, but answer, 'He surely did not know my other faults, or he would not have mentioned only these.'" To prepare for insult is to strengthen the shield of the mind, to smile and let the arrow fall harmlessly to the ground. Preparing for success. We think only failures test us, but success can be the greater danger. For when fortune lifts us up, pride whispers in our ear. Pleasure tempts us to forget our discipline. Comfort dulls the soul. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of the most powerful empire. Yet in his journal, he reminded himself daily, "You are a man, a small soul carrying a corpse." Success, too, is training. It asks us to remain humble, to remain moderate, to remain human. Preparing for death. The final training is death, the one event that awaits us all. The Stoics did not flee from this thought. They invited it daily. For to remember death is not. When you know the candle is short, you cherish its light. When you know time is fragile, you live more fully. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." To prepare for death is to live without wasting. To act now, to love now, to speak kindly now. And when the final moment comes, to meet it as a friend long expected. Guided reflection, training the mind. Let us pause. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a slow breath in and out. Now, bring to mind a situation you often fear. It may be failure. It may be insult. It may be loss. It may be death itself. See it in your mind. Do not run from it. Stand before it calmly. And now say to yourself, "This too is training. This too can make me stronger. This too is part of the path." Breathe once more. In, out. Carry this thought with you. Every situation, every trial is a teacher.